Hello and good evening. This is Ruth Paswell from Curbal.com, and today I'm going to show you how to do sentiment analysis in Power BI, and we're going to use Twitter data. So in the previous video I showed you how to download Twitter data into Power BI, and if you downloaded that file from our website, you probably saw that the sentiment analysis dashboard was already there. So what I'm going to do today is to show you how it was built, in case you want to build it somewhere else. So the Power BI file looks like this. We have the negative, neutral and positive icons, and then here we have tweets. The link, if any is included on the tweet, so we can go there and check it out what they're talking about. We have a score. We have the score in text, and then we have a screen name, who actually tweeted that. We're using Twitter search part of the API. So what you do is you give Twitter some keywords. In this case, the ones that are here at Power BI. So this is looking for all the Power BI tweets that it found, and then is doing an analysis if it thought that it was positive, neutral, or negative. So how well does this work? Well, not that well. Perhaps Twitter is not the best example for that. I guess these algorithms, perhaps they need more words and like a better structure. So this is an example. You can use it in any report you like. If we look here, let's see, negative comments, meet Power Players. This is not even Power BI. Power BI, is there a limit set of IP addresses that Power BI uses? And that was a very negative comment, which is not. Microsoft makes possible for all business to analyze their data. Negative is not either. So positive. Let me see. I'm thrilled. That's good. And how to use to explore and visualize data. Yeah, well, I think it's best that you download the file, you choose your own words, and you decide for yourself how well or how bad this is working, or perhaps use Facebook data or TripAdvisor data or something else where people actually write more. Twitter is, as I said, perhaps not the best, but the methodology for doing this is the same. So we will build this dashboard together. So this is the dashboard that we had on the previous video. That's where we left it. So we will pick it up from here. If you haven't seen the previous video, I will post a link on the description box so you can see that first. I recommend that you do that because you will be able to follow better. So let's go ahead, and to be able to do this sensitivity analysis, we need to access a service in the Azure Marketplace. So if we write here Azure connect, and I am already connected. If you are not, it will ask you to create an account or log in. So you can do that. And for that, you need a Microsoft account, either school, or you can have a free Hotmail, or you can have business account. Anyone will work. You will need this text analytics. You have here a link which is quite useful because you can click on it and it will take you there. So once you're here, you will search by text analytics, and there it is. And what you need to do is to click on sign up, and you have 10,000 transactions a month for free. I haven't given any credit card details to Microsoft on the account that I have here, so I don't know what they actually do. If I would go over the threshold, perhaps they will send me an email and tell me that they cut the service, or hopefully not an invoice. I don't know. But once you have signed up, you can see how many transactions you have left, actually, so you can check if you're worried. Here you have a demo on how the service works. So say I love you. Analyze. And it says 91% confidence that this is a good comment. What happens if we write I hate you? Well, that is negative. So these kind of easy phrases, they pick it up. Now when we are using a more difficult language, then it is not working that well, if we say so. But again, check it out with your own data and see for yourself if you think it's good enough or not. So once you click on sign up, Power BI will pick it up, and so we cannot pick the data from here. It was possible before, but it's not now. So what we need to do is to go back here and then go to the documentation. And you can read all this, but here is the URL that we want, because we are going to import these as our OData feed. So now we're going to test how Hello World scores. So, and here we get the score 95%. So Hello World is a positive comment. So let's look at what it's done. So here we have the keywords, and here we have let's write in love. Done. Positive score. Perfect. So what we need to do to make this work is to create a parameter that will replace these by the tweet. Okay, so instead of in love, we want to have the tweeter text. So we have done this before, so we're going to use the same trick now. We're going to create a parameter in here. So we write like this. Input text. And then we substitute the parameter in there. Input text. Done. And now the results of these will be as a list, but we want it as a table. So we're going to change that too. So we go back to the advanced editor and we write like this. So this will transform the list to table. And then we have to change that one. And this has to have a comma. So, and let's give these another name, text analytics, for example. So now that we have the function, what we need to do is like populate these, but we don't want to do it here. We want to do it in our Twitter search table. So for that, we will go to add column, custom column. Let's call it score. And then we're going to call in the text analytics function. And we want as text the tweet. Okay, and then we get a table. So now we expand. The names, it only says score, so we don't want that. And then it says the score value, and that we want to call it just score. So now we have a score for every tweet. What we also want to do is, you know, the numbers is not always like very intuitive, so it's better to have it as text. So what we're going to say is everything between 0.4 to 0.7 is neutral score, and then above is positive and below is negative. And that is the recommendation they make here. So for that, we're going to use the conditional column that says if the score is less than 0.4, then is negative. If the score is less than or equal to 0.7, then we have neutral. And if the score is greater than 0.7, then it is positive. Otherwise, and we are going to call this sentiment score. Okay. And the reason why this is wrong is that zero point. Okay. So now it's working. So now we have this. Something that will be quite nice is to have the icons also. So for that, I have used the icons 8 site again. Let's check that out. If we go to icons 8, and then we write sad. So here we have a sad icon, generate HTML, and here we have the HTTPS that we want. So how do we create the links for every row? The easiest way is again to do a conditional formatting. So we have sentiment score is equal to negative. Then, and we want this a little bit bigger, so we're going to write 48. And this is 48. It was negative, yeah. So we go back. otherwise missing. Okay, and that we want to call icon URL, for example. So now we have everything we need. Close and apply. And as you see, it's going to the Data Market Azure API and doing the search. So sending the text and giving back a score for every row. So it's very cool. So let's see what we have here. The first thing we need to do is to change the Twitter URL to web URL. I had that already, but we need to change the icon URL to image URL. And the score, we want to have it as percentage. And we don't want to have any decimals. They're just useless. So now that we have that, we say, okay, we want the Twitter URL first. If you don't know how to take out the icon, you just go in here, values, and then here you turn on the icon, okay? And then we have this score. And then we have sentiment score. So, and to create the filter with image, you need to import a custom visual. So you need to go to Power BI custom visuals. And in the gallery, here, this is the one you need. So you just download the visual somewhere that you can find it. And then you go here and say import custom visual. And then you just navigate to where you have it and install it. It's very, very simple. Once you have it, you just click on it. And here what we want to have is the tweet, not the tweet URL. We want to have the icon URL. Now, this is a little bit tricky because it won't display the picture. Even if you drop it here, it won't display anything because it requires a category and requires a value also. Even if it has nothing to do with the value at all. Don't know why. So once we have that, remove the header and we give a title. I don't know, 28, Twitter sentiment analysis. So. And here you have it. So now you can do your own opinion mining, they call it, or sentiment analysis, or yeah. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. We will do a little bit more Twitter analytics later on, but I really hope this is useful for you. If you like it, please let me know by liking the video down below. If you have any questions, comments or suggestions for new videos or ideas, just please contact me on the contact box or any of the social media channels. They are listed on the description box. And subscribe. I publish around a video a week. So thank you for watching. Have a great evening. Bye.